Microphone check, microphone check. I'm not even sure if y'all can hear me right now. Yeah. All right, I just had to check. Should be going on left sometimes. Goodest morning. My name is SiliS. I'm here this morning to do some trading. All right. All right. So we got gold right now. It's gonna basically show how I get things going. Got no markups on the charts, obviously. So how I like to get started is, I mean, I can read the charts at this point, but I'm going to go through things from a teacher standpoint on how I do it, on how I think you as a student should do it. This is just me. I keep it simple. I think simplicity is the best route when it comes to trading once you know what you're doing. So I can go to my Discord. I can go to the SS guide this is all handwritten by me. Um, and we could go to the solid strategy method. You know what I'm saying? You have your pre-session routine, which everybody should have a pre-session routine, and how you clear your mind and prepare for the trading day. But if we go to the strategy itself, I've implemented a few more things into the strategy, which I will go over. But if we go from just the initial strategy that I have, I have a lot of different studies here, and I will be revamping the solid strategy because I have revamped it in the chat with the students. Like we have a solid strategy mainframe, then there's solid strategy 1, solid strategy 2, depending on how the market moves. So, uh, you know, top down analysis, fundamental, sentimental analysis, identifying PB and J's, which is my name for fair value gaps, but we'll just keep it fair value gaps to help the learning curve, target pivot points, and my phrase, dance with the market, which is just, price action is key, not being too overzealous when news drops, changing bias if necessary, and of course, not being impulsive. So let's start with top down analysis. We can go to the daily, which top down analysis just helps you find what price is. So if we want to do daily, we can go back to the last 7 days. It's just only Tuesday, so we wouldn't even need to go back. But if we had to, we don't even need to make markups. But if we had to, we could see that price has wicked out here. You want to mark your support and resistance areas, basically to tell you what price is. So you have top wicks here, so you could mark around this area. I'm not going to keep these. Then you have bottom wicks here that was creating a floor or support. So remember, if you don't know this, top is resistance. Bottom is support. Got this damn wire in my way. That's with any support and resistance strategy. So resistance at the top, where is it hit and been affected, whereas it just couldn't seem to break. It's hitting this, just keeps hitting this ceiling. Where does it seem to not be able to hit below a support? And that's not exact. Of course, you have this range that you can mark off that this is more supporting because it's an average of where has it hit. It's more like in this area, but that would be for that. We're just doing top-down analysis, just the spot where price is. Go down to the 4 hour. Now that we've marked off daily resistance and support, we go down to the 4 hour and we can see that, oh, here's price. We don't even really necessarily have to mark up a resistance and support area for the 4 hour because it's pretty much utilizing the same support and resistance that we've marked off for the daily. Now, go down to the hour, a little different. The hour is my favorite time frame. We're playing with New York session, which is 8:30 to early in the afternoon. But as we can see, the daily resistance and support is still playing a major factor here. But we need to dial in a bit. So we don't really need to worry about too much over here. Where is price currently is what we need to figure out. So since Monday, we've been playing in between these 2640s and 2660s, I'd say 80. Like here is where we're playing, like since Monday. So that's where we want to look. Then we want to take sentimental and fundamental. Now, sentimental and fundamental analysis are simply news events, what people who are experts in this field have been saying, articles, things of that nature. So today's Tuesday, October 8th. No real news going on today. All the news that is relatively important has passed. We have no real red folders or orange folders. Tomorrow's a little bit better, but we're worried about today. So let me go down to the 30. But now we're taking fundamental, sentimental analysis to perspective, which is just the bias of the world. Let's try to see if we have any fair value gaps forming. Now, fair value gap occurs in a 3-candle pattern. Usually you want to see a big candle with 2 small candles next to it on each side. So let's, for example, here, you have this big ass candle right here. You could take it into account. You have the wick, this candle before it, this candle after it, the wick here, and the wick here. You will connect them, and this area is called a fair value gap, or I call it a PB&J, which is a probability block and jam. So, had we marked this off in this session, it would have meant with this being the candle before it, if the next candle, which is here, broke into it and broke it, that would be a signal for a sell. If it broke into it and broke back out, that would be a signal for a buy. Obviously, here they played out as it broke, went all the way down, came all the way back up, did not enter, and sold off. So, do we have any of those forming on different time frames? Do we have it forming on the hour, 4 hour, anything for current price? You could, what's this, 1 a.m.? I don't really want to take a 1 a.m. candle into New York session. Perspective. But this is just how we set up and get ready for trading. See if we want to do anything. Another thing I like to take into account before trading this, the target pivot points is more for when we're trading. I like to use very few indicators. You don't need a bunch of indicators. I use a little bit of moving average. I barely really use that. Use the pivot points for targets for TPs. RSI, I already got that up. For targeting and seeing the averages, it's pretty much consolidating here. I use sessions, and that's it. I use sessions for this reason. This purple area is Asian session. I like to mark off the high of Asian session and the low of Asian session. As key level points. And if you use them later on, you see price in the New York session seems to continue to bounce off these areas. Price even bounced off here at the daily resistance or 4-hour. So it just helps us identify price and help us make our moves. Something else I like to utilize is the Heiken Ashy Candle Index. With this, it shows a concise pattern. You know that you don't have to necessarily go with what it's saying, but if the color was green and changed to red, I'm not going to buy here. I'm not going to do anything necessarily, but I'm going to use it as a confluence before entering a trade. As of right now, I'm honestly not seeing too much of nothing. It's only 9 o'clock, which is when I begin my trades. I like to mark things off before I started. I did have it marked off. I like to be very simplistic with this shit. There's no need to overcomplicate things. You might hear my kids in the background. So, we know where price is playing currently. We know where price has been playing. And we can take sentimental notes into account. We can go to different websites. I like to use FX Street. We're trading gold, so we don't need to know anything other than what's going on with gold. Go to Gold News. Got a 29-minute ago article. You can read that and take it into account as to what's going on. So you can just read the synopsis here. Gold is edging lower within its range as markets revise down their outlook for China, the world's largest consumer of gold. The precious metal supported by ETF flows and haven demand amid raised geopolitical tensions. That's the war shit with Iran and Iran and Iraq. I forget. But they got bombs going off. They're dropping bombs over Baghdad, goddammit. But as I said, this is a sentimental bias. It's saying that gold is pretty much breaking down. So gold exchange hands in the 2630s on Tuesday as the yellow metal edged lower within the familiar 50s range of current week's disappointment at the limited extent of fiscal stimulus announced by China on Tuesday is a headwind for gold since China is the world's largest consumer of the precious metal. Reduced chances for the Fed Reserve will cut interest rates by another double dose, 50 basis points. So we got Fed cuts. I'm going to assume we're going to see a lot of range and consolidation here. Even the RSI is in the 40s. If RSI is if it's in the 50, if it's mid range, we're going to continue to see consolidation. You can see the last session, it's not moving much. Here, maybe, but we're not getting a whole lot of range unless you go into smaller time frames. 15 is the lowest I'll go. I would like to see price get down to here, maybe lower, and to buy up for these safe haven flows. We also have articles that TradingView provides that you can also go off for sentimental and fundamental analysis. Technical is just the charts, the markups, things like that. That's technical analysis. Fundamental is news, geopolitical effects, things like that. So this one, gold edges lower on Tuesday, moving lower for a third straight session, even as the dollar weakened. The treasury yields were mixed. Gold for December delivery was last seen down $1.20. Despite the decline, the price of the metal continues to trade near the September 26th record high of $26.94 as fresh further interest rate cuts expected for the Federal Reserve offer support by cutting the carrying cost of owning gold. Safe haven buying may be limiting the decline as Israel expands its war in Lebanon. Israel is expected to retaliate against Iran's October 1st missile attack with a strike of its own against the Persian Gulf country. That's going to be messy. Treasury yields were mixed. The U.S. 2-year note was last seen paying 3.9%, down 0.8 basis points, while the yield on the 10-year note was up 2.0 points. So gold is just getting its ass kicked around this time, as you can see. But not crazily. I mean, gold is up. If we really, look at it. It's up there. So it's just playing within this area. Because last week was NFP. The week after NFP is very slow. I tell my students that all the time. The week after NFP is super slow. So we don't necessarily have to trade. But so this is the way I do it. I mark up where we are. Let me put on the pivot points. I gotta take off sessions. So right now the hiking ashes are still red. Still on the bearish trend. I have my Forex charts. I'm patient. I don't really want to make a move till I want to make a move. Let me look at the 30. Yeah, we got no fair value gaps. I mean, you could do that one. It's a small one. I'm done trading at 11:30, so I'd like to mark that up. That's my finish line. I don't trade past 11:30. I do not trade past 11:30. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have discipline. You gotta have rules. So, not sure if I want to get in here. Let's look at. I do trade gold, but I also trade NAS a little bit. And this is how I would usually mark my shit up. Another thing that I did not mention is my 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. candle ranger, which helps a lot of shit sometimes. So if we go to 2 a.m. this morning, mark it off. Go to the hourly. I like to mark off the 2 a.m. candle, but I choose between the 2 and the 3 and mark off the high and the low of which one is bigger. Obviously, the 3 a.m. candle is bigger, so we mark it off. See how the low even resonated with the daily and 4-hour support. But I use that as a confluence for certain things. If I wake up in the morning, a lot of people do it. At 7 and 8, if this is the 2 a.m. candle marked off, as you can see, I mark it off before the session even starts. I mark it off the day before. If, not always, but if price is above that candle by session start, it's usually going to sell. If it's below it, it's usually going to buy. Now, this is just confluence. It's just something that I use, put in my back pocket. You ain't got to use it if you don't want to. It's just a confluence. It's a ICT confluence. If you know ICT, then there you go. But another thing, we marked off that fair value gap. And we marked it off earlier when this was formed, and it came in and broke. Once that candle came back up and came back in, we could have sold, or we could have sold once it broke right here, and it's still selling off. But I think I went away for 8:30ish. I mean 9:30ish before entering anything. Be sure to follow the Discord. I'm taking a week off just to do some live trading sessions and other things. So I will be back in the classroom, sending out signals, sending out information, sending out value. Next week, we'll be doing live sessions all this week. Didn't do it yesterday, but we were doing it all week long. So I'm on 30 right now. I'm honestly thinking I'm going to be looking for some buys here. This price is possibly. If it breaks below here, I might get in for some sales on a pull back up, and I'll get in for some sales. But at 9:30, depending on what we are, if it breaks back into this fair value gap and breaks above, then we buy. But as far as the SiliS strategy goes, that's number one. The first strategy is simple: support and resistance. Find your fair value gaps. If it enters but does not break, we're buying. If it breaks, we follow. You might want to be patient because it could pull back like this one here. It did break below. It did break below but pulled back tremendously. And so we could have, once it broke, sold. But if you were patient another few minutes, to pull back for a bigger sell. But you know once it breaks that it's going to sell. So you know that that's a signal, it's a confluence for your sell bias. So right now, this candle doesn't have a whole lot of volume, but you can find right here. If you click on your candles and you go to status symbol, and you highlight volume, you'll be able to see the volume of the candle. This one has about 2,000 equated volumes with it, which is good. But I think I'll wait a minute. It's not very much volume. It's not moving too much. We're not moving too much at all. We're still playing within this area. So, and we know that because we found our area by doing our top-down analysis. We have our 2 a.m. candle, top and low here. We know when we're going to stop. We know our bigger support areas. We have some range here. This is what I really want. I want this range. I want to buy back up. I believe the safe haven. Look at that. Will it buy from here? Ooh. Key level. Bouncing right off of it. It did break it though. But look how, since we know that was Asian sessions key level, we know that to mark that off and it's bouncing off of it. We know why it's bouncing off of it because many have bounced off of it. It's an area people are looking at. Many traders in this world don't think that this shit revolves around you, but take into account what's going on. Bouncing off that, we might get down to here. Now, if we break here before 9:30, we might be going way down. It's the daily. We know we just been playing up in this area. So what we're really waiting on is a break below or a break above, and it looks like we're gonna get that break below. So my bad, y'all. This shit fucking up. I'm trying to. There we go. Like I said, bouncing off that kilo. Bounce, 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 bounce. Bouncing off that bitch. No news to take into account. The Bulls is in this bitch. Broke below again. Bouncing off. I like to see it get down around this area before I do anything. I just see it ranging. for the most part. I don't think it's gonna dive too much today. Now later in the week, let's go down a notch. It's playing on this key level. You can see it's that key level, but you also have this area. So I like to see it get in here and buy back up, but it might leave me, and that's fine. But as you can see, marking off those key levels helps us with entries. But if you don't get it, you don't get it. Patience is everything. Discipline is everything. Not losing money is still a win. So let me see. Let's go to the 15. Got this candle. Did it change color with the Heiken Nashies? Still red. 5 minutes still red. 30 still red. So but that doesn't mean anything. You could get in, it could be red candles and you get in for a buy and that bitch could zoom up. It's just a different form of looking at the patterns of candlesticks and using it towards your advantage. But as you can see, we were already correct in our theory of it bouncing off these key levels. It's playing in this area. This candle has a bit of volume, but I'm still waiting for 9:30. There she goes. Another area support. This is what happens. This is the beauty of marking off areas of support. You could have marked that off as range, bought it there. You could have bought any of these times. Key levels, bouncing off of them bitches. Look at all that. I wanted it a little lower, but let's go through. I didn't catch that. But you see how correct the strategy can be. Continuing to move down. Let's see what that. You know what I'm saying? We real close to breaking. If we break this, I may wait for a pullback to sit back down. Let's test right now. See if we bounce back up. Oh no. Get out of there. It did break. Should have waited a second. Should have waited just a second longer. I would have waited like 30 seconds longer. I could have got a better entry. I think this is going to be a good one. I don't like that shit. I should have waited till it broke and bought in. I mean, it's sold in. Losses happen though, you know. Don't forget about that. Mm. I need them bears to get in the building. Nasty work. Can't risk it, y'all. Can't risk it. Took a little loss. Can't risk it. I should have waited till we broke and sold. We do have the bulls in the building. That was one trade. I got one more in me. should have waited till it broke. You got moving at this point. Volume is low. I might have to call it a day on with this loss. I should have sold once we broke here. Sun is in there going bananas. She is dying. I'm in recovery mode now. Yeah, new lows, new daily lows. Broke support, so we're gonna continue to go down. Most likely. I might have to just take this loss for the day. We don't do too much losing over here. Still diving. I should have sold. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to sell. I was just trying to buy back up in that pullback to sell here, but it didn't give me what I wanted. It didn't give me what I wanted. Sell-a-thon. If we rise up at all, I'm selling. But besides that, I'm done for the day. I should have knew to sell. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just did it earlier than I thought. I thought we'd at least pull back a bit and give us the sell, but did not pull back. No pullback. Wow. Should have sold. Should have sold. Damn. I'm glad I called it though. Would have ate me up. But we saw that. We just entered a bit too early for that pullback. Wow. That's ridiculous. I'm pissed now. I wanted to get back up and I'll sell, but until then, but I keep it transparent, man. We take losses. That's my first L for the week. One win, one loss. I called it. I said we break, we going to sell. I just thought we would get at least a little resistance so we could sell down a bigger, but I'd like to see us get back up here and then I might sell again. That'll be my only thing. I'm just going to chunky. Give me a second. Got to rise back up. I would like to sell. I just don't think I'm doing it right now. Candles are still red. If we get back above here, I'll sell. This is trading, man. It's all about patience. People think this is quick money. You got to be patient. You got to know what's going on. You got to know how to take losses. Should have sold. Should have sold. I think I'm done for the day. Take this little loss. We'll cover big time tomorrow. We got news. At 9. News at 8. These speeches usually have a massive effect, despite the color of the folder. If you don't know, yellow's moderate, orange is a little more intense, and red is high intensity news. Price is still falling. Didn't get that back push like I thought for the sell, which is what I was going for. I was going for sales. I just wanted I thought we would get a push and then a dive, but we did not. It broke below and again and continued. So we were right on our bias for sales. Or right on either way. You have to prepare for if price is going to go up or down. So we were prepared for either way. But what I wanted to do was buy up and sell down bigger. But we did not get that. Took a small loss. I would just like to jump up here just to try to recover some of these digits. The bulls are in the building. They're trying to get an uptrend, but it's not working. So as part of the analysis, when we're going live all week, win, lose, or draw with the solid strategy, the simple solid strategy, triple S. Make sure you subscribe to the Discord. It's in the bio. It's in the description. We take L's, but please believe me, we take more dubs. I'm probably done trading for the day. I might try to recover some of these profits here. I mean, some of these L's here. Oops. But please subscribe to the Discord. I'll be back in there heavily next week. I'm not really even promoting this live. I'm just going live. You know what I'm saying? We do wins, man. We do our, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, we take small L's. You know, it happens. But, yeah, no. I'm going to probably keep looking out, but I'm going to be done with this live. I'm going to go ahead and get on off of here. But thank y'all for watching. My name is SiliS. I hope you have the goodest morning. We'll be back tomorrow live. Peace.